All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Sanusi Vision Art Life. My name is Adewale Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. Today, I'm going to continue to talk about superheroes, but today I'm going to focus on characters from the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. Usually every 10th episode, I like to talk about the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, but as I'm going now, I want to start to focus on each individual character from the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, because guess what? We're getting closer to that comic book coming out soon, and it's time to start letting y'all know what's up with each character. So today, I'm going to focus on the first character that was created in the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. Psychologically, mentally, it was KJEN, character that I based on myself. I was like, that's where the whole journey started. Before we get into this podcast, we want to thank our sponsors. This Sanusi Vision podcast is brought to you by Tigler. If you need executive services from plumbers to pediatricians and everything in between, search Tigler.com. That's Tigler.com. Don't wait, search today, Tigler.com. As I stated before, Tigler.com, any kind of executive service from contractors to plumbers to pediatricians, to shoot anything professional, man. Tigler.com, and it was created and organized and is owned by President and CEO of egytian, who's doing a great job. And lucky for us, we joined forces with Tigler, and now joining forces with Tigler has allowed Sanusi Vision to grow as a podcast. You know, because I say before, as I always state before, you're shifting your platform from Apple, whatever, Spotify to YouTube, because it's the future. So hey, look, when we join forces with Tigler, the search engine is now providing listeners to our podcast. So, hey, we can't thank them enough, man. So search Tigler.com. I want to thank egytian as well for letting us to join forces, because when you have two great organizations join forces, it's a guarantee to have major success. So Tigler.com, y'all. That's Tigler.com. And also, this podcast is also brought to you by Anadel for the ankle. Don't live with foot pain. Let Anadel for the ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. As I stated before, where my custom orthotics. I always got them in my hand, and I always wear this in every pair of my Bata's footwear, because now we have our own footwear. And if you want to get your feet right, you got to go see Dr. Neri Onusode, the best foot specialist in the galaxy. Joining forces with Anadel has benefited us too as well, because there's many people that have foot pain, and this podcast allows me to talk about how I no longer have foot pain, but also to customers that have that listen to our podcast and now are able to go to AnadelCenter.com. So if you're in the Dallas, Frisco, Texas area, go visit Dr. Nero Onusode so you can get your feet where they need to be. I'm telling you, man, there's nothing worse than walking around with bad feet. But if you got these custom orthotics, as you can see, they're custom with the Anadel Center logo right there, I promise you, your feet will be happy today. I've been pain-free for a long time. So y'all, that's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. All right. All right, y'all, let's get into this podcast. As I stated before, I want to talk about, we're going to focus on KJEN today. The first character that I really created in the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. And oh, check out the podcast t-shirt. Can't forget, available now on SanusiVision.com. So get yours today. We got in multiple colors: black, gray, red, navy blue, pink. And then we got them different apparels too: bomber jackets, beanies, sweatpants, leggings for ladies. Hey, the Sanusi Vision podcast is on and popping, y'all. So let's check it out, man. Visit the website. All right, y'all. So the thing I'm going to focus on today, I'm pretty excited. I'm focused on KJEN's origins, his history, the abilities, comics, animation, and movies. So let's get to holes in our chest. Shoot, man. There we go. That's much better. So look, y'all, origins. KJEN was the first character. Before I even get started, I'm going to show you. I got to show you two things. The origins of the character. Because it's important that I do that. I don't want to just show you the coolest one. I got to show you the beginning of the coolness. Check that out. That's KJEN right there. That's the first version right there. That's what he looked like. I can see that armor. My drawing skills wasn't where they are today, but I was on the come up. This is the first version of the characters right there. And that's KJEN right there, the first one. Now, as my skills came to do what they do, look at this now. That's the new KJEN right there. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this is what we do in the Sanusi Vision. This is how I grow right here. And I remember the origins. And look, let me see if I can show you another origin before I get deep into this story, because I know that's what's gonna happen. Check that out. If you love posters, you got to visit soundvision.com. Now that's KJEN right there, available on soundvision.com. Even the old school one you can get on the website. Just send us a note, order this one, and then send a note, say, hey, I want the classic one. You know what I mean? So that's KJEN right there. Now, look, these characters, and the reason why I felt I needed to start introducing them is because, as I stated before, the new comic series, the new comic book is coming out soon. And I figured if it's gonna come out, I gotta start letting y'all know about these characters. So let me put this back real quick, right? So starting off with KJEN's origins. So he was the first character I created, and I started this journey around 2009. But I've had him in my head probably since I was, oh my God, maybe since I was 15 or something. I just kept on this character. Always wanted this character. I was a big Iron Man as a kid, big Iron Man fan as a kid. I was a big fan of any character that had armor. So whether it was Iron Man, Ryo from Ronin Warriors, Techno Man, I mean, all these different superheroes with armor. And I was also a big fan of Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was a big fan of Blade. So, and then also Wolverine too. So I combined all my favorite superheroes and made them into one, but I wanted them to have armor. So mostly KJEN was a combination, the ability to see where a character that's Blade, Iron Man, Ryo, Leonardo from the Turtles, Ryo from the Ronin Warriors, and of course Techno Man. And then a little bit of Wolverine. And I was just like, oh man, okay, what would I want his armor to look like? And I went through different phases of armor reconstruction, because when I started, it wasn't so much the drawing. It was more of, that's when I knew that there was a difference between drawing and creation of characters. A lot of people can't create characters. A lot of people can just draw stuff that somebody else has already drawn, but they can't create their own characters. And so I remember when I created him, I was like, whoa, okay, this is kind of cool. I mean, it's not my greatest drawing, but it was just to create a character from scratch, right? So we're talking around 2009, because I didn't finish creating the entire Karjakz Vs Assassins universe till 2012. No, the date was October 19th, 2012. Yeah, I'm looking at the big old posters that I had. October 12th, 19. This wasn't completed till October 12th, 2012. And I said to myself, okay, I got this character. This character's sick. Now I got to give him a name. Got the name already. I had the name long before I had the drawing. So I've had the name for a while, and I just didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, okay, this name of this character, this guy is sick as hell. Okay, what's he gonna look like? What do I want? And as I started to go, okay, I created him. What do I want his occupation to be? I said I want to be a billionaire industrialist, just like Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark. I wanted to be like a technology guy, because I'm into technology. I was like, okay, let's do that. I'm into like, I want to do philanthropy. I got to make him look like that. And then where do I want him to be? I want him to be from Africa, straight up. I was like, wait, because I'm Nigerian descent. And I said, well, you know, I'm Nigerian descent, but I grew up I also too, and I'm also American too. So I grew up in America. So I was like, I got to have him be the best of both worlds, right? Because that's what I am. I'm the best of both worlds, what both cultures have to offer. So I said, okay, got that, right? Then I said, okay, last but least, what's his armor going to look like? I was like, correct. I love the color gray. And the reason why I love the color gray, because it's a neutral color. It doesn't choose sides. It's probably, most people don't think about this, but gray is the most neutral color. Gray or silver, whichever one you want to call it. I prefer to call it silver. Is the most neutral color you can have. If you look at the armor, right there, that's silver. If you look at this armor, continuation of silver and black. You know what I mean? And then when you look at it, when I created them, I was like, oh, okay, this is the dude right here. I can see a future. And I got really excited. And you know, when you create something and you know it's not the best drawing, but it's just the fact that you created it. Oh my God, the excitement, the glory of knowing, okay, it's on now. I can definitely do something with this character. And you know, as I go, I'm going to tell you. So, and then also too, here we go. You know what? I'm going off of the old school book, if I'm going to tell you the history. So, and then as I created them, I was like, okay, now next up. And now I need to create, I'm going to talk about the Psychic SPHINX next, right? So I created, this was the first original character creation right there. Look right there. That's the original prototype of the original creation. And I said to myself, okay, what's his name going to be? He's going to be Karjakz. And I remember at one point I had him being the team leader, till I realized that when you have a Colonel Escalade, who I'm going to talk about next in my future talks, like, he shouldn't be the leader. He should be the guy who has the money to create the the tools and everything that they have, but not if you have a colonel on your team. So don't. So then the name, his original name was Julius Jones. And I was like, I don't want the name Jones. I don't even want the name Julius. So I was like, I'm going to take my name and change it. So that's when the character's name became Phoenix. I was like, because my last name in English means Phoenix. I said, forget this. I'm not putting Jones. I want an African name. So I did. So I changed to Phoenix. And then, of course, the name alias is KJEN. And then citizenship is USA Nigerian. And then place of birth is Hunter's Green. And it was pretty sick that I actually accomplished that. I was just like, man. And look, I'm going to read y'all, just like how I do all the other superheroes. I'm going to do the same thing for my characters too. So that's his origins. And then, you know, when you create a character like this, you don't realize how great you are or what you've achieved when you're doing it. You're just like, man, oh, I'm not about to let this thing run out of power. And I'm like, man, I've got a character. Holy crap. And then when I created him, it led to a subsequent creation of all the other characters. So let me look for y'all give me a second. I've modified the comic book as I go. I can tell y'all snippets and bits, but I'm not trying to tell y'all everything either. But I got to tell you something. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. So like I said, his profile is something I'm gonna get into next, because that's really part of his history. So he's part of the team Karjakz. He's second in command. His real name, so it went from Julius Jones to Jones Phoenix. Then his alias name is KJEN. Citizenship is USA Nigerian. Place of birth is Hunter's Green. Height 5'11". In armor 6'5". Weight 192. In armor 275. Yeah, that armor get heavy, but not that heavy. Eyes is light brown, just like mine. Hair is black when I used to have hair. You know what I'm saying? Occupation, he's an engineer / owner and CEO of PHINX Industries. And the cool thing about him, like I said, I wanted him to be an industrialist, be able to create technology, because I was a big fan of Tony Stark. I used to remember as a kid watching Iron Man as a kid, like he busts out the briefcase. I was like, well, I want my character to be able to do something like that. And so I give him this sick armor, man. The armor had to be on point. Like, it had to look like it cost $1 gajillion, man. And I did it. I was proud of myself. And then, of course, fighting skills include Jet Kundo, because I'm a big fan of Bruce. I'm such a big fan of Bruce Lee. And then, of course, master in karate, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, Muay Thai, and boxing, because I'm a boxer. I love boxing. I guess my box on. I love the discipline of the different types of martial arts as well. Then, of course, he's got different armor modes, which you can find later. But I'm more trying to give you the history of the guy. So now, that's KJEN. Now, let's focus on his sidekick, his friend, his partner, Phoenix, who's an Egyptian mystical tiger, African mystical tiger. I remember him, I mean, for me, I've always loved huskies. And I was like, I used to be a big fan of, when I was watching Ronin Warriors, they had a tiger called White Blaze. I was like, okay, that's pretty sick. I gotta have my own. I think tigers are sick as hell. And I said, I gotta have a tiger be a part of this show. I could have been a lion, but I didn't want a lion. I wanted a tiger because I think tigers are cool as hell. And I was like, white tigers are sick as hell because they're rare. But then I said, look, I gotta make this thing a different color. So I goes to make it blue, because blue is my favorite color. And I was like, Sphinx he's gonna be a mystical tiger. And of course, Sphinx, being part of the Egyptian ministry, the African beauty of African culture, Ramses, those great kings that all look like me, that are part of African history. I said, you know what? I'm gonna make this guy. I'm gonna create a tiger named Sphinx, and I did. And he has all kinds of powers, which I'm not gonna get into. Right? He can grow in size, some of it, but he's also like kind of like how Ryo from Ronin Warriors had a partnership with White Blaze. Same thing KJEN has with Sphinx. And as you can see, look at his armor. Right? That's his armor. And if you look in the first version, there was no armor. Where's he at? Right there. That's Sphinx right there at the bottom next to Escalade. In blue right there. There was no armor. He just sung right there. And so I went through transitions with Sphinx as well. Just like with KJEN, just like any other character in the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe I'm going to talk about. And he got the armor. And then he didn't have no armor. And then when I got into version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, version 5, I was like, oh, damn. Version 5, once I got to version 5, I was like, I got to make this dude look cool. I got to look like he got armor, and I put armor on him. And so SPHINX just came into his own. But that's the origins of KJEN right there, because SPHINX is a part of his history, right? Because that's his partner, not his sidekick. I don't like to call, especially, it's like a lack of respect if I don't call SPHINX his partner, because that's what he kind of is, because SPHINX is like his guardian. And the whole history of SPHINX is very, it's very detailed, which I'm going to tell y'all later, because I can't tell you until the Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book comes out. Then you get to understand why SPHINX is really here. You know what I mean? So that's the origins of KJEN. Next. Of KJEN. Next up is the history. Now, KJEN history simply is bio, is history of what he is. Of course, the history of this never changes from here. But originally, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna read a little bit of his history. The goal of Jones SPHINX is, the history of Jones SPHINX is this, the history. So Jones SPHINX is owner and CEO of SPHINX Industries. He's a tech whiz, businessman by day, assassin slaying warrior by night. Together with the Karjakz, they fight evil, the assassins, in a never-ending battle of good versus evil. He's the oldest of 4 children. Of course, it's him, Escalade, Glocks, and Rasputin, just like in real life. So it's me, my 2 brothers, and my sister. And for me, having a character that was a positive influence, but also to a billionaire, because I'd never seen a character that had money, that was an African-American superhero, or African descent, really, that was prominent. Like, okay, we just recently saw Hawkman in Black Adam, but I'd never seen a superhero, African-American superhero that was rich, except for this TV show I used to watch called Mathis. I'd never seen one that had wealth but was like popular. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, you know what? My guy's gonna have some paper, but he's also gonna have, like, do this not just on his own but with his family, right? And so, you know, he's the oldest of 4 children. He wanted to set an example, so he wanted to be successful, and he educated himself and earned himself a degree from different parts of the universe. I'm not going to tell you the rest of it, because you have to go get the bio book to understand it. That's right. This bio book is available on ScienceVision.com, because this is going to help you to understand the whole Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. And then as he went through school, he started to strategize about how he was going to get where he needed to go. So instead of working for somebody, just like I did, I stacked money and he'd be able to work with different government contracts, get government contracts, because he had talent. He was a talented engineer. And so instead of letting them dictate what he would make, he decided, you're going to pay me what I want, right? And most people take a route where they go get a job. He did the opposite. He went and started his own business using the funds from his education, which was totally crazy, which is not obscene because he's just smart and intelligent. And as he built what he was building, he just began to garner wealth. And also too, just like me, I've lived all over the world. KJEN has also lived all over the world. He's had many masters of different disciplines in martial arts, many cultures. I speak multiple languages, just like me. He speaks multiple languages, and it was just like. And for those who want to know what languages I'm learning Yoruba, which I already know, Spanish, Korean, French, Zulu, Swahili, Japanese. I mean, I'm getting my learn on. You know what I mean? So I can speak multiple languages. So KJEN can speak multiple languages. And when you give a character depth, it doesn't limit them. Because I think one of the problems that I never liked about character creations, especially when it came to African American characters, there was always a stereotype. So I went out of my way to create certain things that weren't going to be stereotypes. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm watching X-Men 97, for example, and the last episode of Storm, I couldn't stand the fact that her clothes was unacceptable. She looked naked. I'm like, what is this nonsense? And those are the things that I'm trying to avoid. You remake her, you bring her back. Not only do you recreate her, but you make her look different ways. So I said, I'm going to start my own company. And if my history of my character is going to work, if I'm going to actually be able to get them where they need to go, I got to have my own company. And so KJEN's history comes from a guy, and it's personalized too, because I'm not just creating a character that's like it's from thin air, it's from my mind, but the character is based on myself. What would I want to look like? That's really what the history of KJEN is. What would I want him to look like? So this guy creates government contracts. He has government contracts. He becomes a billionaire industrialist. He decides, after his many travels across the world, he comes back to his city and decides to build an armor so he can fight villains. And there's no other villain greater than his arch nemesis Sun Tzu, which I'm going to talk about later, who's the leader of the assassins. That's a whole nother ball of wax. I can't wait to get to that eventually. And KJEN decides, okay, if I'm going to fight this guy, I can't just beat this guy. I can't do it on my own. I have to have a team, and what better team to have than your family. So that's the history of KJEN. Really, everything is like, and then of course SPHINX is, him and SPHINX don't initially know each other, but SPHINX comes into his circle as a gift. But KJEN thinks that he just found him, but he doesn't realize that, which I'm gonna get into later. But SPHINX is like a bodyguard, basically. That's why I call him his partner. He's a bodyguard. Everywhere KJEN is, you're gonna see SPHINX there too. And SPHINX is got all these kinds of cool powers, and you wouldn't know SPHINX was even there even if he is there. You know what I mean? So that's KJEN's history right there, man. You know, it's it's like a character that, just like how I told y'all about how I was a big fan of Bruce Wayne, Iron Man. I mean, yeah. But when it came to creating KJEN, Iron Man was more what I tilted towards, and Techno Man as well, because I wanted the character to have armor. And then, of course, I wanted to have Blade's fighting skills, which is important to me. Leonardo's fighting skills from the Turtles. Ryo's fighting skills from the Turtles. At one point, I thought I wanted Wolverine's claws, but I didn't. I just thought Wolverine was sick. You know what I mean? But the character itself is like how can I explain? He's just like how I looked at Iron Man is how I wanted to do KJEN. And it came out perfectly. I was so grateful. I'm gonna show him to y'all again. Look at that. That's the new version 5 anyway. And then that's the first version right there on the right. I just wanted him to I just wanted him to have this aura of like, yo, this dude looks like he's invincible. But it's not about invincibility. It's about being vulnerable. That's really what this is all about, man. So that's KJEN. That's his history right there. I think it's important to have characters that relate to people. Make them look extraordinary, but not like to the point where they're like just overarching and people can't humanize them. Because I think that's why a lot of us gravitate towards a lot of superheroes. Like, for example, Techno Man or Iron Man or Blade, or Ryo from Warner Wars, or Leonardo from the Turtles, or Wolverine. They don't have every ability, but they can do a whole lot of things. You know what I mean? So, or Black Panther, or Batman. You know what I mean? But that's KJEN right there. This dude is, oh my god. And I'm only give you snippets because as a comic book comes, I'll do another special again. But that's KJEN's history. This dude, a billionaire industrialist, builds the armor, and then the armor he builds is designed to do all kinds of things. And the cool thing is that Sun Tzu, who is his arch nemesis, tries to steal his armor. That's a whole nother story right there. You know what I mean? And that's when he realizes, okay, I really do need help. I got to defend the world, because I ain't just got to prevent people from stealing my technology. I got to prevent people from stealing my technology and using it to destroy the world. You know what I mean? So, yo, that's KJEN's history. KJEN's history. Now his abilities. If there's one thing I always wanted in terms of abilities of my characters, I never wanted them to have powers. And if I did, I didn't want them to have all the powers in the world. So his abilities, right? Because I know y'all wondering, does he have any powers? I don't know. I don't know. He might have powers, but I'm not going to tell you right now. You know what I mean? But in terms of abilities, so some of the abilities that he has, which includes his combat skills. He's got the armor, right? As you know. He's got martial arts training of different types of martial arts disciplines, which include Jeet Kune Do, Master in Karate, Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, Muay Thai, and boxing. I'm a big boxing fan. And then growing up, I loved me some Bruce Lee. God, I still love me some Bruce Lee. And I was like, Jeet Kune Do. I don't know if it's still a practice discipline today, but I know Jeet Kune Do was inducted into Hall of Fame in 1965, which was about 7 years before the great Bruce Lee passed. And Jeet Kune Do was something I was like, you know, most people would say, oh, Taekwondo and karate and all that stuff. Well, I wanted him to be able to do all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Because if you notice, all my characters, this is the first time I'm actually doing detailed work on them. They actually can do all these different things. But also, too, his abilities include, he's super smart. Aside from having physical skills, combative skills, martial arts of all disciplines, super intelligent engineer. He can create just like me. I'm a creative individual of all facets, right? And I was like, KJ is gonna be the same way too. So this guy creates armor, right? For not just for himself, but all his family members, all his family members. That includes Escalade, Glocks, Rasputin, Diesel, Shepard, Sincere. His team was his family and his three friends and his dream girl Sincere. Then his best friends, his best friend Shepard. Then of course his big bro Diesel, who's like a big brother. And he creates armor for them. He creates armor for himself first to figure out what he can do, and names the technology, which I'm not gonna tell y'all right now, because if I tell you the technology, you won't know from the first official Karjakz Assassins book that's coming out, right? So I'm telling you snippets of stuff. I can't tell you everything, right? And then this dude, he creates different armor, and his armor is all that and a bag of chips, man. Kind of like his ability to create armor and his intelligence. So he's using his intelligence. He decides, no, it's not just enough to have the armor, but create the armor to where it's synced to his body. Oh man, it's just that. Look at me over here trying to record a show, and you got the ambulance sirens just going by. Hey, that's what it happens when I'm recording. So y'all don't be shocked when you hear that, man. But you know, KJEN, his abilities, and having abilities like that, it's just not just enough, but it's also too. A lot of my characters, specifically, starting with all my characters in my Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, their abilities is not what is what they can do with their training and their armors. Because each person got a different type of armor. And KJEN straight up can do things. He can fly. He's got different array of missiles. He's got a different array of gadgets. I'm not going to tell you all their names because you're going to know that when you go buy the official bio book. And so he's got flight. He can go to space. He can go underwater. This armor is all that. Yeah, that's right. This very armor you're looking at. He can go super sonic. This thing is super fast. You know what I mean? He's got them swords. I'm not going to tell you their names. These are all stuff that you can find out when you get the first official card, when you go buy a bio book on soundvision.com. I mean, this guy's abilities are off the chain. But the main thing that makes him great is that he's creative. I mean, when you're creative, you can solve a lot of problems. Creativity is a great way to solve a lot of problems, right? And so when you're creative, you can solve a lot of problems. And so being creative is like what you do to take yourself to the next level. And so that right there is important to me. That's his abilities, the ability to create different platforms of technology, dude. And then of course he creates the technology, which I'm going to tell you. That's another thing I can't tell y'all. When you get the first official Karjakz Assassins comic book comes out, you're gonna be like, dang, this book is fire. Then of course, if you really want to know about the characters, you go get the bio book. But if you want the classic from the beginning, you can also order this one right here. Just send us a note and we'll see about making you a classic one. You know what I mean? Sending you a classic one. But yo, KJEN's abilities, flight, different. So it's martial arts disciplines from Jet Kundo to master in karate, to jiu-jitsu, to taekwondo, to Muay Thai, to boxing. And yes, y'all, I really got hands. I'm a boxer. Oh yeah, I can box. And then of course, you got his different creative abilities, his armor, and the different variations of his different armor modes. Yeah, this dude, his armor allows him. His armor allows him to extend himself, his abilities. That's the cool thing about super. I think it's corny when a superhero can do too many things. That's one of the reasons why sometimes I can't stand a lot of DC superheroes, because they give them too many powers. Like, yo, you need to put limitations on these people, because to be a human, it's not that you're limited, but you have to use creative abilities to get yourself where you need to go. So, you know, that's KJEN's abilities right there. And SPHINX has abilities. SPHINX is, like I told you, an Egyptian mystical tiger. I tell you some things he can do. He can grow big. That's all I'm going to tell you. But he can do a bunch of different things. That armor comes from SPHINX's body. So he can put it on his body without like armor being built on him. You know what I mean? And SPHINX, like I said, is KJEN's partner. And when you're going to be a bodyguard, there are certain things you have to be able to do. And so as the whole Karjakz Vs Assassins universe starts to expand, SPHINX and KJEN figure out how to use their armor. They can even mentally sync. Like, they don't have to speak, because of course SPHINX is a tiger. It doesn't speak. So the only way for KJEN to communicate with SPHINX is to mentally communicate with him. So his armor allows him to communicate with SPHINX. Man, it's a whole lot. Oh my God, it's a whole lot of mess going on. But that SPHINX, KJEN got a whole lot of sick abilities, man. So that's abilities right there. Next up is the comics. Look, as with anything that you do, I remember as a kid growing up with comics, I read them all, man. X-Men, Wolverine comics, Captain America, Batman, you name it. And I remember when I first started creating my characters, I asked myself, well, let me create a bio book. This was my version of what a comic book would look like. And I said, well, let me put my characters in a comic book. Now, this is the first thing that I created when I did this bio book. This is the first image for a character that I created. And I created profiles and height and weight. And I said, okay, if I'm going to do a comic book, I want to focus on a bio book, because this bio book was the first one I did. And then versions of it started coming. Version 5. Let me get the other one. I always forget the middle version. This is always a trip. And of course, the middle version. You see right here? Look at this. So KJEN went through transitions, man. Look at this. I keep forgetting that this is right here. This one's sick too. Y'all see that? Yeah, that's another crazy transition. KJEN and SPHINX. Look at, and that's when the beginning of when SPHINX started having armor. I was like, oh damn. Yeah, I got excited. And then when I got to here, it was all she wrote. So when you talk about comics, the comic idea would have never came, right? The comic idea would have never came if I never thought about how I was going to put my characters. Because each character has its own, even though I have a whole series for the entire Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, but I've also individualized each character, because I can do that. These characters are strong enough to be on their own. Like KJEN, for example, the comics that are going to be coming. So these bio books are the beginning of these comics. And of course, I've got the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book coming out. And the comic is designed to tell the story of KJEN, like basically how he got here, from the beginning, from the origins to the history, to his abilities, to how he built SPHINX Industries. And when you use a comic, and also the reason why I want to do a comic book, because I've never really seen a comic book that satisfied me to my full extent. Like a lot of African American superheroes, they don't get the leeway that a lot of Caucasian superheroes get. And I wanted KJEN, because he was my first character, as I started to put together this bio book, to have his own comic book series that wasn't stereotyped, that wasn't a whole bunch of bull jive, because that used to get me heated. And the thing about having comics is that each character has their own storyline. Like, I can't tell you all the names of the comics that I got coming for each character, but man, because this is one section of today's podcast that I can't divulge too much information, because the only thing about is the only thing I can tell you really about is the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book. But rest assured, each character has his own comic series coming. The more I get into this universe, the better it gets. And the more I learn, the more creative I can be. Because I'm already creative. What I decided to do was give myself tools so I can be able to do these things. Like the comic books for each character. Each character has their own line of comics. And then the whole Karjakz Vs Assassins universe is a whole line of comics too. Like, KJEN and SPHINX are going to have their own series. Like, some of the stuff that you're going to see, you're going to be like, dang. And I was inspired, really, like I said before. Iron Man, Turtles stuff. I've never seen a Techno Man comic book. But what I also liked is, I've seen a lot of characters that have superhero comics that aren't armor. But there's only one person that has armor that I've seen that has a comic book, and that's Iron Man. And Iron Man, even now, they don't even make that many comics. And so I told myself, when I created KJEN, I'm going to have... The comic series actually was only supposed to start with him. But as I created more characters, I was like, wait, I can't just have one character. I need to have, like, all the characters. Even on my beanie. Classic Karjakz Vs Assassins right there if you want to go get one on sunvision.com. I told myself, I got to really go on sunvision.com. I got to create a comic book series for everybody. Like, put everybody in it. It can't just be one character. That's not good enough. And so the comics in this whole thing is going to be about the height, weight. This right here, I even got a bio book that I'm working on for each character, which is going to be sick as hell. Like, it's not enough to have one. It's not enough to just put a character's in the entire group. I felt like it's important to have each character's individual comic series. Like, and when I say I got work for like the next 30 years, I got work for the next 30 years. There's never a day where I don't have work. Creating a comic book, even the one that I'm finished now, because the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book is going to be done. It's pretty much done. It's going through correction phases. But as I created it, I realized each character needs to have their own comic series. So each character is going to have their own comics. And this bio book, as you can see, I gave each character their own page. right? Let's use this one right here. I give each character their own page, the height, weight. If y'all want to read it, you got to go on SoundVision.com. Some of the stuff that I focus on, like the bio stories, where they're from, the height, weight, and all that good stuff. And that's what you do with a comic book, really. And when I created KJEN, he was the first to have our own like profile and stuff like that. I was like, I got to do a whole comic book. And then as I started to do the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book, I was like, oh God, each character gotta have their own book series. This is not just gonna work for me to stick them all in one book. It's like you're limiting, you don't get to read everything about each one if I don't do it that way. So that's like, I'm coming up with its own comic book. And wait till you see KJEN and SPHINX comic book. Oh, it's gonna be sick. Because the cool thing about my characters is that I can individualize them, but I can also group them too. That's the cool thing about this universe. I mean, I've had multiple opportunities where I could have got jobs with different companies. I just don't want to work for them because I know what I'm going to lose. The money they're going to pay me is not worth what I should have gotten in front. So I'm not playing the short game. I'm playing the long game. I'm playing knowing that the money in the future is waiting for me. That's what another thing about. I just been very independent with my creations. I have my own company. I've registered it as an LLC. It's a trademark. I understand how to do the business. I know how to do comics. It's not like I need anybody else. I don't need anybody to write the story for me. I write the stories. So the story KJ is going to focus on his history, the comic book, the history, the how we travel through the world. Like, it's going to be so sick, y'all. Y'all don't understand. It's going to be so sick. You're going to understand how it became KJ, man. So that's comics right there. Right there. Next up is animation. Of course, animation. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? When you create an entire universe of Karjakz Vs Assassins, you got all these characters. We're talking a bunch, 15 plus characters. Dude, you have to have an animation series. Just like how I got the comic series, I can have an animation series. I'm talking about animated movies, animation series, the whole animation series. And then also too, as the episodes go, I can individualize episodes for each character, which I'm going to do. I'm already doing the Karjakz Vs Assassins new animation intro, which is sick as hell, man. I gotta say, when I created the first animation series intro, I was super, super proud of myself. I said, I can't believe I just did this. I'm putting the iPad away. I said, I can't believe I just did this. Like, even though it was not the coolest thing you've ever seen, it was the coolest thing I'd ever done. Let me rephrase that. I didn't understand really what I was doing, but I was so creative that my teacher he said, do a project. And the entire animation series was going to take on the entire semester. And he said, you can do whatever you want. I said, so sir, I want to do mine on animated character. He's like, yeah, you can do that. Man, when I created it, he was kind of shocked that I actually was able to do it. But even more shocking to him was that I used African-American characters. Like, because as you see some of the characters, whether it's Escalade, Sincere, or Rasmin the Shepherd, you can start to see, wait, these aren't Caucasian characters. This kid is using African-American characters. Yeah, I'm using African-American characters. I'm Nigerian. I'm Nigerian descent. It was important to me to do an animation series that was going to benefit, that was going to change the game. And when I say change the game, I mean more as in the ignorance and the stupidity of how African-Americans are portrayed in animated series. They never, even X-Men 97 is an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, it's good, but it's horrible. Like, the last 5 episodes have been nothing but except for the last episode where Storm came in, it was been horrible. Where's the storyline for African Americans? Where's the storyline for anything else other than a Caucasian? Where's the storyline for, like, and then when Storm finally got at the end of the episode, which I'm not gonna get into, her costume looks like she looked like a whore. I was like, I can't believe I'm looking at this. And that's the reason why I wanted to create my own animation series. Not depending on companies, whether it's Marvel, DC, Paramount, DreamWorks, I don't care. I'm not begging them to let me do something when I could do it myself. That's the whole point of creating your own animation series. You can write the storyboard, you can write the storyline, you can you can have your own characters, you can create the scenes how you want to. I went to school and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to go learn animation because it's something that I don't have to do, but something I want to learn how to do. So that just in case whenever I'm dealing with animators and they're just acting like asses, pardon my English, I can just fire them and get rid of them. I don't have time for your nonsense, because you can't make people believe in your vision. You have to believe in your vision. And that's when I said, if I'm gonna have an animation series, that animation is going to spread through the entire Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, of course. You know what I mean? The entire Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. But I'm also, too, going to individualize each character. I can get each character to have their own animation. How sick is that? To know that you have the ability to create an animation series for each character. Like, the animation is like, it's not rocket science. A lot of people make it be like it's rocket science. It kind of is. But you have to be very creative and also to mathematically create what you're creating. And that's also too in this age of independence, where you can just have your own YouTube channel. Why do I need to get companies when I can just have my own YouTube channel, which is already working? I upload my animation series in there, and boom, people are watching my stuff, and I'm getting paid for it. You know what I mean? You know, and also to have my own website. So, like, I don't need a company. Nobody's going to buy DVDs anymore. People are streaming. If you're an artist and you have a great idea, put it into execution. I don't care if it's comic series or animation series. It just happens to be that I'm doing both, right? And I'm creating this animation. And I realized when I created the animation, when school was over, I said, oh, I got something. Oh, I got something. And then when I used to go to art shows, I would put a TV behind my table and I'd be playing the animation intro that I created. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Give me a second. I'm going to play the animation intro right here. So here we go. I told y'all it's a cool intro, and then I focus on KJEN's part, which is what I'm gonna you get to see the whole thing, all the characters, how it's all integrated. Now imagine what you just saw, but a new version of it. It's sick as hell. Like the version with these characters, with these drawings right here. How sick is that gonna be? Dude, y'all, when I say animation, oh my god, it's gonna be so sick. Like beyond sick. Like, it's the coolest thing you can ever think of. Oh my god, and like I've said to y'all multiple times, a bunch of times, I am going to Japan, because the whole point is, like, why deal with middlemen when I could just go direct? And also too, I can and that's the cool thing about my vision. You can work with animators, you can hire them and pay them for individual projects. Dude, there's no need for me to stress out about Marvel, DC, or go to their offices or show them demos. I ain't doing none of that. Hell no. I'm just doing how I've been doing. Hustling, working, and stacking enough money. Because once I get enough money, once I get where I need to go, they're going to be begging me to be like, hey, Adewale, can we join forces with you? Can we be part of the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe? Hell no, you can't be part of the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. I don't want you watering down my idea, making it look so ignorant and stupid. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to be independent. I could have gotten jobs at a whole bunch of places. I got offered jobs, but I realized that me doing it was not a good idea. Even in graphic design, I used to think I wanted to work in graphic design firms. I was like, nah, I'm good. And then when I started creating when I created my own company, Sanusi Vision, which is now a trademarked LLC, I'm like, yo, I'm doing my own thing. And I've been on it ever since. I don't even bother looking for work anymore. I go to shows, I do my thing on my YouTube channel, on my various social media platforms, and I'm just going like this. I'm one of the few artists that actually owns everything he creates. That's why I wanted to do my animation series. Like, I don't need to beg Marvel, DC, DreamWorks, or whomever to let me do my animation. I just wake up and go. That's why you have shows like Dragon Ball Z were great. I'm trying to think, stuff like Techno Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you don't have individuals that own their own creations, your creations are gonna go to crap. And then the animation series, because companies, they are cheap and they ain't trying to spend no money, and so your idea can get watered down. But I don't want my idea getting watered down. That's why I'm independent. So that's the reason why I I decided animation series can work. And it's going to work because guess what? If I get it to work for the entire group of individuals, now I can do individual movies for each individual character, whether it's KJEN himself, who's the first Karjakz Vs Assassins character I ever created. And dude, like, I cannot wait till I can do an animated movie for KJEN. You know how sick that's going to be, him and SPHINX in the animated series? Oh my God. The storyline is going to be spitfire, man. So, yo, that's the animation right there. Last but not least is movies. Of course there's gonna be movies. I remember when I was in school, I used to read scripts about how to write movies. And so when I created KJEN and then subsequently created all the other characters, I said, okay, writing a movie is gonna be sick. I think movies are part of the future because with the advent of content creation, which is what I want to call it, but also too independence. You don't need to beg any studio to let you do anything. Even if you have a cell phone camera, you can make a movie. If you get all the right locations, all the right equipment, dude. I don't need to, obviously you want to join forces with companies, but if you joining forces with companies does not allow you to individualize your idea, does not allow you to make it be the vision you're wanting, you got to cut them loose. Like, movies are for sure. There's no way I ain't gonna make movies. I got two main characters. Look at them behind me. That's KJEN right there. You know what I mean? That's KJEN right there. Him and SPHINX. And there's no way I'm gonna not have movies. I mean, the idea, I got so many. I've already started writing scripts. I'm just gonna tell you all that right now. I'm already writing scripts already for each individual character and for the whole thing. I already know what I'm going to do. When I tell you I got comic series, animation series, the ideas of the movies, yo, it's inevitable. People aren't gonna see these characters and say, they're gonna be like, KJEN, when you gonna make a movie? Adewale, when you gonna make a movie? I'm like, you know how many times when I used to drive Uber, I remember I would have customers who would buy my bio books from me in the car. Yeah, when I was driving Uber, I was selling comics in my Uber car, and they'll be like, dude, when you make a movie, you better be like Stan Lee and be the pizza delivery guy, the FedEx guy, the UPS guy. I was like, I'm gonna do all that. And when people started telling me that, I said, I'm gonna cheat. I knew it was gonna happen, and it started to manifest itself. And here I am, 2012, 2024, 12 years later, I'm still climbing, and this idea is still growing. I remember when I created the idea, I was like, I never thought I would want to think about doing movies, but as I began to see Avengers, Blade, Batman, Iron Man, of course, who's my favorite Marvel superhero. I've said Blade, seen Captain Marvel, the first one anyway, because the second one was, oh my God. Wonder Woman, same thing. The first one was good, but that's not feeling it. Let me see. What other movies? Who else has made good stuff? Just different superhero movies. I was like, dude, this is the jump off. Blue Beetle, that was sick. If you've never seen Blue Beetle, you gotta go see Blue Beetle. And I said, I gotta be able to create a movie, write scripts, because the main thing about movies is being creative. If you give people a great story, people gonna watch. And where's the story gonna come from? All the stuff that I've done prior to the animation, the comics, people gonna be like, I can't tell you how excited I was when people would be like, in my car, in my Uber ride, they're like, dude, you gotta do a movie. Dude, you got some sick characters. And then they said, your characters aren't just sick, but each character can have his own movie, which is gonna be my goal. It's gonna happen. The power of manifestation, going forward, getting forward, and writing forward. So movies are for sure gonna happen, man. Each character, KJEN's always gonna be the first one to get anything, whether it's comics, movies, animation, because he's my character. He's the reason why the whole Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. He's the reason why the whole Karjakz Vs Assassins universe started, because he saw it's like a reason to defend the universe, right? But also too, it came from me just feeling like there was a giant hole in the animation universe, in the comic universe, in the movie universe, with representation to African characters. I'm Nigerian. I'm not trying to hide it. I'm not trying to make the universe. It doesn't. The universe. This universe doesn't exist in a American how can I put this? It doesn't exist in an American atmosphere. So it's important to me that I create a universe from the comics to the animation to the movies in an African universe, because Africa is beautiful. It's like my idea came long before Black Panther. So when I get big, people are like, oh, did Black Panther influence you? No. I was already on this trail long before Black Panther came out. And even Black Panther, as great as it is, Black Panther is owned by Caucasians. That's who came up with Black Panther, not some African person. It's black, not some African American, not some African American, not an African, not a Nigerian, not a Ghanaian, not a Kenyan. It was some white guys. Stan Lee, and don't get me wrong, I love Stan Lee, but he's not an African. Black Panther should have been created by an African. Then it would have had even more significance. You know what I mean? But Karjakz Vs Assassins is created by me, a Nigerian. Adewale Agboke Jr. You hear my accent in my bass? You know what I'm saying? You hear the bass in my accent? Or the accent, you know what I'm saying? You hear my accent. So that's the movies right there, man. You know, if you're going to do something like this, production companies can't really stop you from... Production companies can't really stop you from creating movies anymore. You don't need America to make a movie. There's plenty of places to go make a movie. So if the arrogance of America ever gets in my way, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going back home. I don't have time for American BS. Yes, I'm American, but I'm also Nigerian too. I'm a dual citizen. So I'd have to sweat, be like, oh, I can't make my movie. Oh, yes, I can, and I'm going to. So, yo. That's KJEN right there, man. You know what I mean? So that day, as I stated before, I want to focus on each character. I'm gonna keep going like this. Every 10th episode, I'm gonna focus on a Karjakz Vs Assassins character till I get to the last characters, until I get to the last character in the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe, the Coyotes. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep going. We're gonna talk about them all. KJEN, which I'm doing today, Escalade, Glocks, Rasputin, Sincere, Shepard, Diesel. Then of course the Assassins, Sanusi, Artillery, Excursion, Kanji, Revo, Snipes, Yukon, the Coyotes. I'm gonna talk about all of them. It's gonna be an awesome long streak of podcast episodes, but it's gonna be sick, man. So that's our show for today. Now, you know, that's our show for today. And before I get into talking about all the cool new products we got, as I said before, talking about KJEN was important to me, right? Because I had to focus on his origins, his history, his abilities, comics and animation and movies. And even though you don't know as much about them, but I feel like because the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book is coming out, I got to tell you about them, because when the comic book comes out, you got to go copy you a bio book before the comic book comes out, so you can understand what's going on with the characters, right? Because the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book is coming out, and when that book comes out, it changes everything. I guarantee I'm gonna have companies looking for me, like, oh, how can we work with you? Oh, we can offer you this. You can't offer me anything. You can't offer me anything that I already don't have. It's like my job. If I do my job, no amount of money a job pays me will ever equal the amount of money I can make for myself. A job that I have now, I do it because it's just good. It pays me decent, literally decent, and it doesn't get in my way. I went and got a job that would not get in my way of my dream. That's literally what I did. I wasn't looking for a manager position. I just wanted to have a regular day job so it wouldn't get in my way, so I could do my art dream. So everything I did for my art that made money for my website and everything like that, I could funnel it towards my dream. And then my job would just pay for my livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like now I just paid for the LA Comic Con 2024. These are the things that I've started doing. I used to go to a bunch of comic expos. I said, nah, I changed my mind. I'm going to start limiting. When the pandemic came, I figured out a way to exist without the comic expos. And I was like, oh, I'm not going back to comic expos. I don't need it. I'm going to go when I want to go. So instead of going to 5, 6, 7 shows a year, shoot, I go to 2 a year. That's it. I don't need to go every month. I don't need to do that. People that do that really don't have no independence. It's like you're really dependent on a structure. I don't want to depend on a structure. You know what I mean? So the KJEN today focusing on the things that are gonna help me get to where I need to go, because KJEN is a part of a bigger universe, which is the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. You know what I mean? It's important that I keep on growing each individual character, and it's important that I talk about each individual character, because as the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book comes out, you have to understand how each character came, and then each character became part of the whole universe, and then how they all joined forces, whether it's the Karjakz and whether it's the villains, and how the Karjakz versus the Assassins all came together like that. How the heroes, the Karjakz and the Assassins, finally met up, and it's on and popping. So yo, that's KJEN today. KJEN is the central figure of the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. Sanusi is just the antagonist who makes the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe go. But KJEN is the reason why the whole thing started. You know what I mean? Calling upon his brothers, his sister, his two friends, and his dream girl, and joining forces and making the whole thing just like boom. Because he's the center. He's the designer of the costumes. He's the designer of their armor. All the technology they have, all KJEN. All the weapons they have, all KJEN. You know what I'm saying? So yo, that's our show for today. But before we get up out of here, we got to show you our cool, awesome products that we got. You know we got to do the cool, awesome products, man. Of course, let's start off with the bio books. Shoot, why not? If you want to buy a book, this is available on SoundVision.com. You got to go get your bio book on SoundVision.com. You know what I mean? And then, of course, water bottles. I'm always going to stress the water bottle deal. Who doesn't need water? You got to stay hydrated. You know what I mean? And we got them in different characters, too. Karjakz Vs Assassins, KJEN, Blade, Iron Man. You should see the KJEN water bottle on the website. Oh, it's sick. So, you know, water bottles. And then, of course, laptop cases. Man, as you can see, Karjakz Vs Assassins laptop cases, right? And then you flip it, another version of the Karjakz. So on this side is Karjakz Vs Assassins version 1 of the Karjakz Vs Assassins, the original. And then on this side is the version 5 of them, right? And it's waterproof. Yes, y'all are wondering, it is waterproof. Then of course you're wondering what the inside looks like. All nice and dandy, and it's durable too. Dude, I've had this thing for, shoot, man, probably going on, it might be going on 4 years now. Still looks brand new. I've had it for a long time. It's durable. It'll make your laptop, it'll keep your laptop clean. I mean, look at how clean it is. You know what I'm saying? Laptop cases. We're doing laptop cases now too. And then next up is the Bata Sport ones. If you love to exercise, and I know a lot of y'all love to exercise, you gotta go get your Bata Sport ones. Check that out. You know what's different? And what's different about shoes? Look at shoes. Look at the art. Different on both sides, so you can see it. Comparisons. You can definitely see that we're making awesome shoes here at Sound Vision. Look at this, right? And then you flip it on the inside of them. It's the same thing. Look at the inside of that, and you can tell by the foot space, the base of the shoe is durable. It's gonna protect your feet. Y'all know about my foot pain, so I was not gonna just wear any kind of shoe. I gotta wear a shoe that makes my feet feel awesome. And that is what's going on here. Look at this. Awesomeness. You know what I mean? So, yo, Bata Sport ones available on SoundVision.com. Go get your pair today. We got them in multiple characters. Karjakz Vs Assassins, KJEN, Glocks, Escalade, Rasputin, Diesel, Shepherd, Blade, Iron Man, Batman. We got them for men and women. You know what I mean? So, and the good thing about these shoes is that is the support. They were designed by me because as you know, I always tell y'all my history. I've had a lot of foot pain, so I can't just wear any shoe. I have to wear a shoe that really actually gives me support and is going to support my feet. So the Bata Sport ones, these are the sickest pairs of shoes you want to get. Look at these things, man. They're sick. And we got them in multiple colors too. Blue, red, gray, black, purple. Oh, man, it's so many color schemes. Check this out, man. And the art is sick as hell. And then we've redesigned it. So these are the Sport ones, man. And check out the logo, man. I'm so proud of that, man. You know what I mean? Look at that. The logo is right there, dude. Look at that. That's sick as hell, man. We're doing big things on Sound Vision. So, y'all, Bata Sport ones available on SoundVision.com. Join the movement and let your feet be happy, man. You know what I mean? And then, of course, can't forget our bomber jackets. Yes, I'm wearing one right now. Check this out. This is a platinum bomber jacket, marble velvet. Oh yeah, this is the platinum. This is the cream. This is the king of the bomber jackets right here on our website right here. You got to go get yours. And let me flip it so y'all can see the back. You know what? Let me take it off so y'all can see the back. So y'all can know what's up. Check that out. Look at this. Man, look at that thing. You know what I mean? Well, first I'm going to show you this one right here. Look at this. Karjakz Vs Assassins bomber jacket. Yeah, we doing big things on Sound Vision. Waterproof right here, y'all. Yeah, y'all know what's up. Look at this. Look at the arm on that thing, man. Oh my God. And then this is the classic version on this side right here. Then you flip it to the back. Look at that. Waterproof. You know how many compliments I get on this, man? We already selling a whole bunch of them. And you got to remember, my bomber jackets are customized. So they're individualized. They're not for, let me take this one off and put, they're individualized. You know what I mean? So They're individualized. Check this out. Let me put this on. They're individualized. So look, let's check out this bomber jacket, the marble velvet one. You know what I mean? We doing over here big things. If you want a jacket, man, you got to go visit SoundVision.com. We doing big time things right here. See, I'm putting it on a mannequin so y'all can see it. I want you to be able to see the whole jacket as a whole. Check this out. Look at this. Marble velvet, man. Platinum. Look at that. Look at the detail. And you see how it changes? You see how the light changes the reflectors on it? Yeah, it's got reflectors. That's how sick my jackets are. Custom design made by yours truly. Look at the front, man. Classic Karjakz Vs Assassins. And then on the right side, you got the version 5 on this arm right here, right? Look at this. Look at how it's changing the light on that, man. Man, we doing big things over here at SoundVision. And then check this left arm out. Look at that. Man. Then if you go here, look that out. Look at that. Look at that out. Man, that's sick as hell. Karjakz Vs Assassins right there. You know what I mean? More classic. This is what we doing at SoundVision. Bomber jackets, man. So get your pair today on SoundVision.com. We doing big things at SoundVision, man. We got beanies. We got t-shirts. So you can see the t-shirt on me. Man, everything we do is creme de la creme. We ain't playing around. That's all I'm going to say. We ain't playing around. You know what I mean? We are not playing around. So, yo, that's all the cool stuff we got today, man. You know what I mean? We doing big things. So, y'all, I want to thank you for listening. And before I forget, can't forget the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book is coming out soon, y'all. So make sure you go get this bio book so you can understand what's going on, which is what I spoke about all day today. So you can know what's going on in the Karjakz Vs Assassins universe so you can be ready when the first official Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book comes out. Because when it does, it's a game changer. Don't get left behind now. Get in front of the game, baby. Get in front of the game. You know what I mean? So, yo, before we get up out of here, we got to thank our sponsors. You know what I'm saying? This SoundVision podcast is brought to you by Tigler. If you need executive services, from plumbers to pediatricians and everything in between, that's get on Tigler.com. That's get your search on Tigler.com. Get your search on Tigler.com. And don't wait, search today. That's Tigler.com. You can find all the best kind of professionals, contractors, plumbers, pediatricians, landscapers, you name it, it's on Tigler.com. The best search engine out there, man. And also, too, this SoundVision podcast is brought to you by Anadel for the ankle. Don't live with foot pain. Let Anadel for the ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. All right, y'all. I want to thank y'all for listening, man. You know what I'm saying? This has been an amazing episode. As I stated before, every 10th episode, I always like to focus on my characters. And usually I focus on the entire Karjakz Vs Assassins universe. But as the Karjakz Vs Assassins comic book is coming out, as I told y'all, I started to focus on each individual character so you can know what's up. So today was KJEN. So I'm grateful to have talked to him. I'm grateful that y'all get to listen to him and get to hear about him. So thank you for listening, man. So thank you for listening, y'all. This SoundVision podcast is produced, written, and directed by yours truly, Adewale Agboke Jr. Please check out our website, SoundVision.com, for all the cool stuff we got. You know what I'm saying? Glasses cases. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Journals. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're doing in SoundVision, man. What else? Shoot. Water bottles. You know what I'm saying? We doing all kinds of cool stuff, man. And of course, can't forget there's Bata Sport Ones. You know what I mean? This is what we're doing right here, SoundVision. Footwear. You know what I mean? This is what we're doing. You know what I mean? So we doing big things on SoundVision. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the beauty of SoundVision, the beauty of my website is that everything social media platform allows you to have independence. So you got to use it. So all the cool stuff and everything is custom on our website. It ain't no generic. We're making it for you. When you order it, I'm literally designing it for you. It ain't just some order just waiting there. No, we make it from scratch. Y'all see me doing the sewing machine thing, and how I use my sewing machine, how you see me making stuff. So you know it's individual. We got beanies, bucket hats, you name it, we doing it all on SoundVision, man. And please subscribe to our podcast on our YouTube. Subscribe to our podcast on our YouTube channel at SoundVision. Let me tell you something. I used to be on Apple, Spotify, all these different platforms. And I said, I gotta get off of here. And sure enough, it was a smart move, because now I was getting emails about how all these platforms are going bye-bye. I was like, oh, I'm taking my stuff off that, because nobody just wants to be hearing you. People want to see you. So I was like, I'm shifting my podcast over to YouTube channel. And that was the best move I ever made. That was the smartest move I ever made. So I'm so grateful I did it, because now we got a whole bunch of followers, we got a whole bunch of subscribers, and we're building I'm building an amazing following. And it's most importantly, it's my platform. I get to decide what goes on there. You know what I'm saying? So yo, follow us on our YouTube channel, subscribe, and so you can get notifications and alerts on our new episodes every week on Mondays, y'all. You know what I mean? And please check out our social media platforms at YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, and Instagram. Now, TikTok, however long more we have it in America, hey, we'll ride it out. But even if we don't have it anymore, I ain't tripping, because I got YouTube, I got Facebook, I got X, I got Instagram. The two big dogs to me are really YouTube and Facebook. I see more X as more of like a X is great, but I feel like it's it feels like a gossip platform sometimes, but you still got to use it. And having these social media platforms, if you're an artist and you don't have a social media platform, you're lying to yourself. A lot of artists, the problem with them is that they think that, oh, social media, everybody's in my business. How can excuse me, how can everybody be in your business when you ain't putting out your business? Makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So as an artist, you need it. It's a free platform. Excuse me, y'all. And it's the one thing we've been waiting for, all as artists, so we can be independent, so you can sell your stuff. You can sell your stuff on TikTok. You can sell your stuff on YouTube. You can sell it on Instagram. All these platforms have shops. So if you can't create a website, then create it on your social media platform. That's the whole point of social media, to help you grow your business. Like I do custom stuff. I don't need to like beg like a grocery store or a department apparel store to let me put my stuff in there. I'm not doing that. I used to have these phone numbers I would call every month, every week, trying to speak to somebody at Macy's or Costco or wherever it is I was trying to put my apparel in. I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I don't need to. Once the pandemic came and I figured out a way to get out my products, I said, forget this. I'm done. I'm social media and this thing all the way. So look, as a creator, let social media do the work for you, man. Don't play yourself. You know what I mean? Get your social media on, because YouTube is such a powerful tool. Not only is it your channel, but it's a marketing platform. So is Facebook. So is TikTok, for however long it's going to be around for. Instagram and X. You got to use them because they'll grow your business. Trust me. When I say my website visit rate has went up, it's went up a crazy percentage number. I'm not telling you the number, but trust me, it's so high, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So, and please, don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. And as always, y'all, continue to aspire and achieve. Believe in your dreams. Don't let no one, and I mean no one, tell you what you can and what you can accomplish. Do it to the best of your abilities. Stay safe, y'all. Have a great week. Peace. Check this cool cartoon intro out. All right, you can see the rest of it on my YouTube channel, and you can also check it out on my website at sanusi.shop.com. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.